runs in there and gets absolutely plastered, iced out by Usyk. So it just shows, you know, and there's all the big fights, Tyson Fury and AJ. AJ got ironed out by Dubois properly, and Usyk just ironed out Dubois.
Daniel, I just worry about him going forward, because fighters who study him and watch him know, I get you past 3 or 4 rounds and keep putting dents in you, it's only a matter of time. Now, don't get me wrong, Usyk's shown that and Jojo's shown that.
Usyk has not improved since he beat Daniel Dubois. But then, who did Oleksandr Usyk beat after beating Daniel Dubois? Tyson Fury. He beat Tyson Fury twice. He did it the first time, and then the second time, he did it even much.
Boxing professionals explain how Oleksandr Usyk didn't just defeat opponents, he dismantled their confidence, often leaving lasting psychological effects. Tony Bellew, who once faced Usyk himself, voiced concern over Daniel Dubois' future in the sport, believing Usyk exposed deep mental vulnerabilities. According to Bellew, Dubois is a fighter who depends heavily on self-belief, but against Usyk, that confidence unraveled from the opening bell. The loss wasn't just physical, it was psychological, and the damage could be long-term.
Will you talk us through Usyk's performance?
It was basically as I predicted. I said Oleksandr Usyk would figure Daniel Dubois out and he'd stop me, just done it a little bit quicker than I thought. I said anywhere between 8 and 10, and he does it in, I think it was the 5th or the 6th?
Yeah, that's it.
The 5th round. So basically he comes out, he starts, he just does a good look in the first round, but he already implements the jab straight away out, and then he hits Daniel Dubois with a really hard jab. And like I said before, Daniel Dubois is a confidence fighter. When he gets confidence and he starts pressing forward, the confidence builds and his momentum builds. He stifled it in that first round with a hard, heavy jab, and from the outside looking in, it just looked like it was only a matter of time till Daniel Dubois was going to go, I've had enough. He was landing heavy shot after heavy shot. Even when he landed to the body, Usyk was like, touched his body and then just was like, well, what are you going to do? Nothing's working for you. And it just took away all the confidence from Daniel Dubois.
See it drain out of him, really, can you, very quickly.
It was sad, really, because I just worry about Daniel, because I think to myself, as fighters, the thing that you need most is heart, and he's displayed that on a couple of occasions against your Jarrell Millers and your Filip Hrgović's. But then he's also displayed that he doesn't have the heart for the fight at certain times in fights, and I think
promoter Frank Warren has publicly praised Usyk as one of the greatest fighters of this generation. He compared Usyk's accomplishments to those of legendary icons like Muhammad Ali and Lennox Lewis, noting that his technical brilliance and discipline demand universal respect even from those typically loyal to their own stables. Warren also suggested that Tyson Fury's continued interest in a rematch may be driven by the greatness Usyk has displayed. This isn't just about settling a score, it's about testing oneself against a fighter whose name now belongs among the all-time greats.
He took over the fight. He's got a great mental, you know, he's so strong mentally, Usyk. You know, you think about it, every fight he's had has been on the road because of obviously the war in Ukraine, going into other people's backyards and coming away with a prize each time. It takes a bit of a mindset to do that, as well as the skills that he has. But he done a fantastic job and took the fight over and eventually stopped Daniel.
How do you think he compares to the other greats of the sport then, the likes of Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield?
He's up there with them all. He's up there. You know, he's in the top 10, and you left out Larry Holmes, who was a great fighter. You know, they would have been, you know, of each generation. It's all, you know, we always do it, all of us in boxing. I wonder how this one would have got, you know, how would Muhammad Ali have got on with Usyk and all these sort of, you know, permutations. But you can only be the best as you can in your generation, and he at the moment is the guy, and he's done it. He's done it at 3 levels. He won the gold medal at Olympic Games. He unified all of the cruiserweight titles, the 4 belts. And he's done the same in the heavyweight division. And at 38 years of age, he's undefeated. So he's one of the greats.
Tyson Fury insists that he's the only man who can beat Usyk. Will he step out of retirement for a trilogy?
We'll see, but he likes that fight. He wants that fight. And they were close fights, by the way. You know, very, very close fights, both of those fights that Tyson had with him. So who knows? Anything can happen in this business, and maybe that's a fight that could be made if indeed Usyk wants to do it and Tyson wants to do it. I have no problem with it. In fact, it was mentioned during an interview over the PA address at Wembley on Saturday, and everybody gave it a loud cheer. So, you know, I'm sure there'd be an appetite for it.
Despite 2 defeats, Tyson Fury continues to speak with conviction about reclaiming his belts from Usyk. But the back-to-back losses have clearly altered his aura of dominance. Observers note a visible change in Fury's energy and public demeanor. Since his most recent loss, he hasn't returned to the ring, a surprising silence from someone known for his outspoken personality. For many, a potential third bout represents more than revenge. It's a shot at redemption, a way for Fury to restore his standing emotionally, mentally, and historically. If it happens, this third fight could define the closing chapter of his career.
Usyk, middleweight. You say you want the WBC, and it's held by gypsies. It is held by gypsies. It's held by the Gypsy King, and it's held tightly, grasped tight, and all road leads to a 7-foot behemoth that will absolutely destroy you, middleweight. Middleweight, you will get smashed to bits. You say you wanted to fight me after you beat the bodybuilder, called me out on television, and now you're being a little bitch pussy boy, running, hiding, saying you've got injuries. You ain't got no injuries, you had a sparring contest. Get out and fight in December, you let your mouth go, now let's back it up. See if you can back it up, middleweight. Doesn't matter if it's December, or April, or August next year. The outcome will be the same. I will obliterate you. I'm a 7-foot, 20-stone behemoth, and I will destroy you, middleweight. Find your balls, come see me. Bitch.
Usyk remains as driven as ever, not just to defend his titles, but to continue proving himself against the best in the division. After defeating Daniel Dubois, he made it clear he was ready to face either Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua next. His willingness to confront the toughest competition speaks volumes about his mindset. Rather than rest on his legacy, Usyk keeps raising the bar, seeking new challenges and refusing to grow complacent. His pursuit of greatness isn't just lip service, it's evident in every performance and every post-fight declaration.
He's a fighting man. We're fighting men, after all, right? He's a fighting man, and that's going to eat away at his soul. The fact that he lost his last ever fight to Oleksandr Usyk. So my bet, my money, would go on a rematch happening in Saudi Arabia once again. Not in October, sometime around March next year. You got to decompress, you got to forget all about fighting, enjoy your family.
Spend some family time, walk my dog, go to the tip. Me and Frank will talk what's going to happen in the future.
Get over the loss mentally, because it'll take a while to process. Now granted, it was a split decision. One judge thought that he won, so there's a moral victory there. So to the press and to the public, you can talk and say, one judge thought I won, so therefore in my mind, we're good. But when he goes home and you rest your head on that pillow at night, you know, the world knows that Oleksandr Usyk was the winner of that fight. And that is why fighters, when they have the money, they have the respect, they've got the career already in the bag, is why they continue to fight.
In the aftermath of Daniel Dubois' defeat, Tyson Fury extended an unexpected gesture of support. Acknowledging the mental toll that a loss to Usyk can take, Fury offered to mentor and train Dubois, a move that highlights the deeper impact of facing a fighter of Usyk's caliber. Fury's experience and insight, especially given his own history with Usyk, could prove invaluable. His willingness to guide the younger fighter also reflects a rarely seen side of boxing, one of leadership, camaraderie, and mutual respect. It's a reminder that, beyond the rivalries, there's a shared responsibility to uplift the next generation.
Right guys, quick one. I keep getting asked about this Dubois situation and all this quitting stuff and whatever else. Here's the facts. The facts are, young Daniel did his best against one of the greatest champions that's ever been, and it wasn't good enough. He come up short. He got put down twice. What do you want him to do? Die in the ring? There's no first place for getting battered. The lad did his best. He wasn't going to win the fight. He's better off getting out of there. There's a lot of jealousy in boxing, especially when an individual's making a lot of money. A lot of jealous fighters slagging someone off who did his best and had the guts to get in there. There is no cowards in boxing. When you're in that ring fighting world heavyweight champions, there is no cowards. So all credit deserves to Daniel. He worked his butts off from being 8-year-old. He won the world title and fought Usyk for the undisputed. Video went off and fought Usyk for the undisputed. And now he's saying, oh, multi-millionaire at 27. Do what he wants. Daniel, if you ever get to see this, chin up, son. Your dad's proud, everybody's proud of you. You've come from a kid to a man to be the world heavyweight champion and box at Wembley and in front of 100,000 people. You can't beat that kid. And if you ever want to do any training with a real straight man, come yourself to Morecambe anytime you want, kid. Because there's no jealousy here and there's no people putting others down who do the best. I call them dream crushers and jealous. Exactly, that's what you are. I love the dirty, jealous. Get up, Daniel Dubois. Get up, son.
Tyson Fury has made it clear he sees little value in a third bout with Anthony Joshua. Referencing Daniel Dubois' spirited performance against Joshua and contrasting it with how easily Usyk handled Dubois, Fury argues that Joshua is no longer a legitimate threat to the Ukrainian champion. In Fury's eyes, only he has the tools to stand toe-to-toe with Usyk. That belief fuels his desire for a third showdown, this time on home soil at the iconic Wembley Stadium. For Fury, it's not just about reclaiming the belts, it's about delivering a defining trilogy for British boxing and closing this chapter with legacy on the line.
Situation. You know, you got AJ boxed Daniel Dubois recently and got ironed out, knocked down 5 times, flattened. And then Dubois was on a great run, three big knockouts in a row, including Joshua and Kovic and Miller. And he goes in there and gets absolutely plastered, iced out by Usyk. So it just shows, you know, and there's all the big fights, Tyson Fury and AJ. AJ got ironed out by Dubois properly, and Usyk just ironed out Dubois. So it's quite pointless. The only man who's been able to beat this fucker is myself, and been ripped off. So I'm not sure what's going on, but you know what it is, GK all day, every day, fucking still the top dog, still the top G. Beat him twice and I'll do it again. Wembley, here we come. 3 times. Beautiful.
Amid speculation about Tyson Fury's next move, talk has intensified around a possible warm-up fight against Anthony Joshua. With Fury inactive since his loss to Usyk in May 2024, this matchup is viewed as a strategic re-entry into the ring. For Joshua, it's a chance to reclaim respect on the biggest stage. If the bout materializes, it will be more than just a comeback, it'll be a pivotal clash determining which of the 2 former champions still holds sway in the heavyweight division. Moreover, it could serve as the gateway to Fury's ultimate goal, one last showdown with Usyk.
Then, well, here it is, here's your world title shot. You're going to fight for a world title, right? But if you're Joseph Parker, and I spoke to Andy Lee, it isn't just a case of fighting for a world title. You want to fight the #1 for the world title, and that guy is Oleksandr Usyk. So, yeah, there must be loads of conversations going on right now. Loads of conversations. I did say this the other day, and I don't know, sometimes I'm like, you know, when I was in the ring and I was interviewing Oleksandr Usyk, I was desperate because of my love for Joseph Parker. I was desperate for Joseph Parker to get. I know he got in the ring after, but I'm talking about on the zone. So whilst everyone is still in the stadium and everyone's still tuned in, I was desperate for him to kind of just jump in the ring. I was desperate for him to do it. Chisora was trying to do it. So Chisora knows how to play the game. And as much as people are like, what's Chisora doing? Chisora won't get the fight, but that's kind of what you got to do. And I know people are like, well, 1 second, it's not like that. It's rankings. Well, no, it's not though, is it? Because again, Oleksandr Usyk can vacate the belt. He can say no. You have to kind of do what Daniel Dubois did last time. Daniel Dubois, rightly or wrongly, got in the ring, pissed Usyk off. Usyk's like, okay, we'll fight then. Fuck it. This is what you're doing, dude. We'll fight. And I felt like there was a time where I wanted Joseph Parker to almost nudge me. And I'm telling you now, you know, we're kind of told not to give the mic. I don't know if you see, I always hold on to the mic. I would have given Joseph Parker the mic. And I would like Joseph Parker because there's a mean side to Joseph Parker. I think everyone sees the friendly side. I've seen the mean side. And I wanted Joseph Parker to say, I want my shot. You've been ducking me. All these things might not be true, but do it. Sell it. The crowd would have gone a bit wild, right? Because I think a lot of the crowd want Joseph Parker to get his shot. But that's not what happened. And all of a sudden, you're seeing Jake Paul in the ring doing a face-off. You're seeing all these, and I'm like, where's Joseph Parker? Where are you, Joseph?
Anthony Joshua has openly admitted the skill gap he experienced when facing Usyk. His acknowledgement of Usyk's superior footwork, timing, and tactical sharpness highlights just how impactful those bouts were. Joshua's humility adds credibility to Usyk's growing legacy, especially coming from a former unified champion. Still, despite Usyk's victories over several prominent British heavyweights, including multiple wins against Joshua and Derek Chisora, his dominance often goes underappreciated by the British media. The lack of recognition raises uncomfortable questions about national bias and selective coverage. Usyk's brilliance in the ring deserves far more praise than he's received from outlets that should be celebrating his excellence.
Oleksandr Usyk has dominated British heavyweight boxing. Every single British fighter we've put in front of Usyk, he's beaten. Usyk has beaten the likes of Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua twice, Daniel Dubois, and Tyson Fury twice. But I've noticed something. Every time that Usyk is fighting a British fighter, a section of the British media finds a way to discredit Oleksandr Usyk. Here is a prime example of what I am talking about.
Yeah, so I know Daniel Dubois. I see him work from day to day. I know what they're working on tactically. Go back to 2023 when Dubois lost to Oleksandr Usyk, and you say, all right, yeah, look, they seem quite far apart there. He had his moments, Daniel, but Usyk was sort of leagues above him then. Oleksandr Usyk has not got better since then. There's a lot of miles on the clock since then. There's no sign of deterioration, but what I'm saying is Daniel Dubois is a different character, a different animal from them.
You're saying that Usyk has not got better since fighting Daniel Dubois?
Yeah,
even though he's dealt with Fury?
Yeah, absolutely.
According to Spencer Oliver, Usyk has not gotten any better. Usyk has not improved since beating Daniel Dubois. Now that is some of the most inaccurate nonsense I have ever heard on live radio.
Critics have increasingly pointed out the evident bias in the British media's treatment of Usyk's career. Prominent voices like Simon Jordan have been called out for downplaying his achievements, even in the face of undeniable dominance. Usyk hasn't just beaten British fighters, he's dismantled them in repeat performances. And yet, the media response often feels hesitant or subdued. But with his recent reign as undisputed champion and string of high-level wins, Usyk is now making a global statement that drowns out localized narratives. His legacy is being written in performances, not headlines, and the world is watching.
The boxing, Simon Jordan has no clue what he's talking about most of the time. Simon Jordan picked Daniel Dubois to beat Oleksandr Usyk because he said Oleksandr Usyk is going to be off by 5 to 6 or 8%. You see, my issue isn't that these guys have an opinion and they want to make prediction and they want to choose a British fighter. That is not a problem at all, because I am all for people supporting their people, and that's great. But when you're a pundit and you're being paid to analyze a fight and give the casual fans an understanding of what is going on in boxing and within fight, you have to be objective. You have to give each fighter their fair due. You have to talk about each fighter equally. You have to lay out each fighter's strengths and weaknesses, and you have to lay out each fighter's chances of winning. And that does not mean that you discredit the other fighter and lift up another fighter. And that is what I believe Simon Jordan and these guys do, where they will take some credit off of Usyk just so they can make Daniel Dubois look like he has improved so much and he's mentally different, when in fact Daniel Dubois was no different mentally to when he fought Usyk the first time to now when he just fought Usyk and got absolutely demolished. And then you have Spencer Oliver, who in that video said that Oleksandr Usyk has not improved since he beat Daniel Dubois. But then, who did Oleksandr Usyk beat after beating Daniel Dubois? Tyson Fury. He beat Tyson Fury twice. He did it the first time, and then the second time, he did it even much better.
Many analysts now believe Tyson Fury's retirement announcements were more strategic than sincere. The pattern of his actions suggests a long game aimed at building anticipation for one last shot at Usyk. Despite two clear defeats, Fury continues to demand a third fight, an opportunity to change the story and end his career on a high note. His unwavering confidence suggests he's unwilling to let the Usyk chapter be the final word on his legacy. Whether the plan pays off or not, it's clear that the groundwork for a historic trilogy is being laid, and the boxing world is taking notice.
But I feel like the way he's talking and then that little thing, you can just tell he's pissed about this. He's raging that he got beat. And it's not raging that he got robbed, it's raging that he got beat and that the whole world knows he didn't just get beat, he got beat back to back, decisively, clearly, unequivocally, undisputably, undeniably beaten back to back. That's what happened.
I train twice a day. I go out, I can have a beer when I want. I go eat what I want. I stay out late. I can do what the fuck I want. You know why? Because I've earned the right to.
No one's stopping me. But we don't mind. We literally don't care. Stay out as long as you want, mate. It's the aggression that's coming out of him when he's saying this. That's what you can tell. That he's all wound up, you know, and maybe he's turning it up for the cameras, to be fair to him. I don't want to be overly critical, but I feel just thinking about that defeat immediately, even when he's talking about things like having a beer, he says it like, I can do what I want. All right, it's not a problem, mate. I crack on.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates.